Hello everyone. In this video we will talk about one of the important topics in engineering. That's very important for managing projects and designing projects. That's called engineering management. Engineering management is useful for all the fields in engineering because all the fields of engineering have some projects, and those projects should be executed in a very precise way. So managing something needs some skills. So here we will talk about those skills that you need as an engineer to manage anything or managing any project related to your field. First of all, you should know or you should remember something about engineering. In the previous lectures we talked about engineering. The art of engineering can be defined as the application of scientific principles. We have many principles of science, like the principles of physics, the principles of chemistry, of biology, or any kind of science. So the application of these principles for real life project is the art of engineering. So engineering will adapt it or will adopt the principles of science to change or to convert them to something that's useful for mankind. Besides of the principles of science, there are some other things that engineering needed to accomplish the task. Engineering is also based on mathematics. Okay, all designs and processes involve evaluation, optimization, and measurement. So, what kind of the tasks should be accomplished in engineering? So, in all the designs, in all the projects, you need some kinds of evaluation, you need some kinds of optimization, you need some kinds of measurement. All these things are based on mathematics. So mathematics is a key to be successful in any engineering discipline. So now we can say that engineering is based on two main things. The first one is the principles of science, and the second one is mathematics. Okay, so before starting the management of any project, our opinion should be changed. So the shape of our mind should be changed. The mindset of engineers should be changed or converted to something else. So we have something called engineering thinking. Engineers do not necessarily seek to understand basic cause and effect or effect relationships. When we talk about the scientific principles, there are two sides of the scientific principles. Normally, scientists seek to understand the basic cause and effects of the scientific discoveries. For example, what are the causes of happening a specific phenomena in the nature, and what are the effects of this? So normally scientists seek to understand those relationships between all the aspects in nature. But engineers do not necessarily seek to understand those relationships. Okay, so we don't want to understand, or we don't want to find the causes of happening something and the effects of happening something, because it's normally something easy. It is the understanding of something that is already existed before. But the role of engineers is to create the causes of desirable effects. For example, what kind of effect do you want? Then you will think about creating a cause for that effect. So it means you are creating something, but scientists normally want to find the causes and effects. Okay, they want to find the causes of happening something and the effects of happening that thing. But engineers want to create something to have a desirable effect. For example, when you want to protect yourself from to be wet while it was raining, so protecting yourself is the desirable effect. Okay, so how can you protect yourself? By designing an umbrella, by creating an umbrella, you can protect yourself. Okay, creating some kinds of speed, reaching some long destinations, okay, by using some tools. For example, when you want to travel to somewhere that is, for example, 100 kilometers away from you, what kind of tool do you want to use to shorten the duration of the travel? So the effect is shortening the duration of your travel. If the distance between you and the destination was 100 kilometers, how can you reach that destination in a very short time? So normally you use some tools like a car, like an airplane, maybe any kind of those tools. So it means creating a tool is the main cause that we want to create or design to achieve that desirable effect. So this is the engineering thinking. While you are stepping to be a successful engineer, you should have this mindset. You should think about these things. Now we will talk about management. Why management is important? Because creating something needs a design, and this design should be converted to real things. Okay, this is a collection of science and mathematics. Okay, creating something needs some principles of science and the principles of mathematics. But when you want to create something, okay, those principles should be converted to some real life products or services. And normally we don't have the entire life to create something. Normally you need, for example, 1 year to produce something, or sometimes you need 1 month to produce something, or sometimes you need 10 years to produce something. So in all cases, your limitations are defining your performance. So it is very important to manage something inside your limitations. What are your limitations? You have some limitations of time, you have some limitations of budget, you have some limitations of human resources. So how can you create something with a minimum time, minimum budget, and minimum use of human resources? So minimizing those resources or managing those resources is called engineering management. So engineering management is about designing a process, okay, through which you can achieve or you can accomplish your task in a minimum by using minimum of your resources. So engineering, okay, is based on mathematics, science, and also we need a process. We need a process for using mathematics and science to achieve something. But management, okay, management is a collection of engineering, okay, with mathematics, science, and process, and also finding the relationship of this with the people. What's the meaning of people? People means human resources. Human resources. Why we are talking about human resources? Because as an engineer, you are an individual, you are alone, you are one person. When you want to design a building, you cannot execute the building in a real project. You cannot convert your design to a real project alone, because you are alone. You don't have you cannot use instruments, you cannot use machines, you don't have enough budget, you don't have enough time. So in all cases you need some people. You need, like for example, some laborers, you need an investor, you need some skilled laborers, you need some people you need some technicians. Okay, so the collection of those people, okay, with the engineering is called management. So the main idea is using people to accomplish your idea, to accomplish your task. So the engineering rule is concerned with the product and the processes. As we talked about, we use mathematics and science through a process to design something, to design a process, to design a product or a service. But the management role is concerned with people in the team, managing people, the arrangement of the teams. Okay, because for example, when you want to produce a computer program, when you want to produce or when you want to manage a country, so you need many people. You need to arrange those people in some subgroups. Okay, so this is why it is very important for you to learn how to conduct it inside your teams. And this is the main idea, that we have some assignments and projects to work in groups, because all engineering, not most, all engineering projects are based on managing people and managing human resources. Now we talk about engineering management. What is engineering management? Management is the process of achieving organizational goals by engaging in the four major functions of planning and decision making, organizing and staffing, directing and leading and controlling. We have four main terms in engineering management. The first one is called planning and decision making. We talked about the types of thinking. We talked about creating some alternatives. All these things are important to decision making. So planning and decision making is the first step that you want for accomplishing something. Then we start organizing and staffing. While when you decided on something, to do something, when you plan it to accomplish that thing, then it is time to organizing and staffing. Okay, organizing people and creating a collection of people with different skills. Directing and leading, directing the staffs. Okay, leading the staffs to do something, and then controlling. When the staffs and groups started working on a specific project, then it is time to you to control the project, to correct the project, because in all projects some mistakes may happen, and then the manager should control and correct these things. Now, engineering management is the process of designing and maintaining an environment in which individuals working together in groups efficiently accomplish organizational goals and objectives. So means in engineering management, a process will be designed to accomplish a specific task. The task may be producing a product or a service, or maybe constructing a project. Designing the product is different if compared with the designing the process, because designing the product, as I told you, it is based on science and mathematics. That's called engineering. But designing the process of achieving a specific goal is called engineering management. Now we have to understand the management levels. Okay, so when we talk about management, it is not only one single process. So there are some levels of management. The first level is called top management, top level management. The second one is middle management. The third level is the low management. Now we will talk about those three levels one by one. Okay, so in the top management level, only the strategic decisions will be made. This triangle is very important to understand. The strategic level called the top management, there are a group of people. Okay, those people are thinking only about the long-term decisions. They are thinking about the strategic decisions related to the organization. So this is the first and most important level of management that is related to the organizational mission and vision. The second level of management, that is called middle management, or we can say technical level. This level only discusses or decides on the midterm tasks. Okay, the midterm tasks or the midterm decisions will be made by the by this group of people. There are a group of people here. They are thinking about the technical things related to the project, and also the third level of management called operational level. Okay, those people are only focusing on the day-to-day tasks, the day-to-day operations. So, for example, this level, that top management level, they don't care about the technical things. They don't care about the day-to-day activities. They only think about the long-term decisions. And this level, that's the final level, operational level, is only focused on the day-to-day operations. They are not concerned about the strategic decisions. Those are the three main levels of management. We have some skills that is very important for the managers to equip. The first skill that is needed to managing anything is called conceptual skill. What is conceptual skill? The cognitive ability to see the organization as a whole and the relationships among its parts. Okay, so when we talk about conceptual skill, we will see the organization as one single body, and we will think about the relationship between different parties, different groups of the organization. For example, if we talk about the university, the president of the university should have a conceptual skill. What is the meaning of conceptual skill? Means the relationship between the staffs and the students, the relationship between the departments of the university, and all the main parties and departments inside one university. This is for the university, and it is the same for organizations, for the government, and for everything. The second level, the second skill that is very important to that's very important for managers to be equipped with is interpersonal skill. Interpersonal skill is the ability to work with and through other people and to work efficiently as a group member. For working with a group of people, your interpersonal skill is very important. Your speaking skill, your body language, your listening skill, and your relations with others. So this is very important for all the levels of management. Technical skill, the understanding of and proficiency in the performance of a specific tasks. This may change in according to the field. For example, for civil engineers, technical skills are related to how to construct a wall. First of all, you need blockers, you need cement paste, you need you need to level the ground. This is related to the technical skill. The technical skill for a computer engineer may be knowing a specific program, knowing the language of that program, and designing the program based on some codes. So this is a technical skill related to the computer engineers. And for the petroleum engineers, for the environmental engineers, for every specific task there are some specific technical skills that is special to this field. So we have those different skills for the managers. When we talk about the skills, a question may come to us that is related to the levels of management and the skills. For example, you can say, if I am a top management level, I'm working in a top management level, what kind of skill do I need? Or if you are working as a technician, what kind of skill do you need? So we have this rectangle that's very important for managers. For example, when we talk about the third level of the management, means the senior managers. This is the top managers. So, and we have 3 different skills. As you see, for the top managers, the administrative and conceptual skills should be very high, and interpersonal skills should be moderate, and technical skills should be very small, related to the two other types of skills. But for the middle managers, okay, as you see, all the types of skills are equal. As you see, this part is very close to this part, and it is very close to this part. The area of this part, of these 3 parts, are very close to each other. And for the technicians, if you are working in the as a technician, so you should have a very high skill related to the technical skills, and you should have a moderate skill related to the interpersonal skills. But for the administrative and conceptual skills, you don't need this much administrative and conceptual skills. So it depends on you, what is your level of working. So for example, in an organization or in a company, you may work here in the middle level of management. So in this case, okay, your administrative skills should be like this, and interpersonal skills should be like this, and technical skills should be like this. But if you are working as a supervisors are normally known as the technicians. Your technical skills should be very high, and your interpersonal skills should be moderate, and your administrative conceptual skill is not important with that much. So we have another point or another topic related to the management of the organizations, that is called the roles of managers. So there are many roles of managers, but we listed only 3 main roles of managers that are the most important roles. The first role of the managers is interpersonal roles. What is the interpersonal roles? Managers began working the moment they arrived at office in the morning, and kept working until they left at night. So this is a general saying related to the managers. Managers, normally in our country, managers are known as those people who don't work efficiently. But normally in every other countries, in the big companies or in the multinational organizations, the managers are the most hardworking persons the most hardworking individuals inside the organization. So whenever you arrive at your office, you should start working, and your skills should be helpful in working with different people with different levels of the organizational behaviors. So the first role for the managers are interpersonal roles. So they are just like this picture. So you should keep the balance in all the directions inside the organization. So if there are many directions, so you should be equipped with those skills to keep the balance between their tasks. For example, if you have 10 tasks a day, so you shouldn't complete one of them or two of them completely, but leave the rest of the 8 tasks. This is the first role of the managers. The second role of the managers, decisional roles. So managers should be very brave, okay, for decision making, and their decisions should be very reasonable, and it should be based on a principle. Managers handled a wide variety of issues throughout the day. Okay, so for example, awarding a retirement plaque to discussing the bidding on a multi-million-dollar contract. So you have many tasks a day as a manager, so you should be very brave. The third role of the managers is informational roles. Managers showed a strong preference for a verbal communication and relied heavily on networks. A network is a set of cooperative relations with individuals whose help is needed in order for a manager to function effectively. So information is very important in organizations. Whenever you need a specific information, you should have a group of people working on technical things, and you should have a group of people working on the organizational behavior inside the company and working on with the human resources. So whenever you needed something, the teams will help you with providing true information and precise information related to the organization. Why? Because you don't have enough time to collect information on everything. So you should have a group of people helping you with providing precise and accurate information related to the organization and related to the technical skills. Then your decisions will be based on those informations, and using different types of networking is very important. For example, some companies need phone calls when for the managers to contact the other group members or team members, and some companies need only emails to for the managers to contact with the team members, and some other companies need intranet because we have internet and intranet. Intranet is something that is useful for working inside an organization, and the network inside the organization will be very effective and easy. So informational skill is also very important. Now we talked about 3 different roles of the managers. The first one was the interpersonal roles. The second one is the decisional roles, and the third one is the informational roles. There is another point that is very important to know while you are talking about the management. Okay, in the previous slides we talked about process. We talked about designing a process, because engineering is related to producing a product or service by using science and mathematics, and this thing is called process. So what you may have a question, what is process? Okay, process in any kind of project is related to three different things. The first thing is called input. It means inputting something, and then through a process you will convert the input to an output, okay, and the output is your result. Then whenever you use the output, you know that the output is useful or not. Okay, you will decide on the output if it is efficient or if it is useful for the mankind or not. So this thing is called feedback. So feedback will be delivered to input through the output. This very simple diagram is a small description of process. As an example, for example, producing a smartphone. For producing a smartphone, you need some raw materials. You need glass, you need plastic, you need, for example, some a ratio of steel. So those raw materials are called input. And through a process, you will convert the raw materials to a smartphone. The smartphone is the output. And whenever you use the smartphone, you know that the quality of the screen is not so good, or the quality of the battery is not so good. Then you will provide feedback to the managers working in the input. Then they can do or perform corrective actions to reform in the process of producing the smartphone. This is about the system and process. Now we talked about, in this lecture, we talked about the engineering management. First of all, we talked about engineering, and then we talked about management. Then we talked about the engineering management. We provided you some information related to the management levels, management skills, and management roles. Thank you very much. Hope this video is very useful to you, we will have an online meeting for asking questions. Thank you.